In Sahaja Yoga, we have very clever, intelligent people. But this mind, you have to be very careful. Because this mind can cheat you. So ask your mind, why are you in Sahaja Yoga? What is the purpose of your Sahaja Yoga? Gradually this mind will shut up. And then you have to ask yourself that what is my own desire now? What do I want? What do I want to achieve? Why I am in Sahaja Yoga? If you ask this question, you will see you will just dissolve. You will become thoughtless because there is no desire left now. There is no ambition left, no competition. All these qualities are of the brain, or we can say of the intellect, which makes you competitive, which makes you also jealous. So jealousy is also a product of this competitiveness, because when two persons are competing or many are competing and one is selected, others become jealous. I mean, instead of feeling happy, all right. So, one of us has become something, so we should be very happy that he has become. On the contrary, the other people feel jealous. Why has he become? Who is he? What does he think of himself? Then they go further. Not you people, but on the whole, people go further with it. And what do? Is to harm another person. In Sahaja Yoga, people are also sometimes very worried and frightened. There is no need to be worried or frightened, because now you have become a Sahaja Yogi and a Guru. Nobody can touch you. Anybody who tries to touch you will be subsided somehow or other. Of course, I don't do anything as such, but today only I heard that in Turkey there were two newspapers who were after Sahaja Yoga writing all nonsensical things. So the first one met with an accident and died. I didn't do that. The second one had two people, editor and sub-editor, were killed and somebody cut their throats. Of course, I didn't do that. Some fundamentalist must have done, or somebody must have done. Now, we don't have to worry as to who criticizes you, they say it about you, because you must know they are blind people. They are absolutely blind, they are not matured as far as the wisdom is concerned. For them to understand Sahaja Yoga is not possible. They go up to a point and then they stop. They cannot go further, because this dissolution of your being, as I said, the drop becomes the ocean, is difficult, especially in the West, where there are so many ideas of their own identifications and of their own personalities. Now, it is quite again a paradox that we don't want people to dress up indecently or we don't want people to behave indecently. Decency is a very big part of Sahaja Yoga. So one can ask that, Mother, when you say you have to completely dissolve, then why should we have this dignity? Why should we worry about having a dignity? It's quite all right. This question is all right. The answer is like this. Supposing you put a drop of some filth in the ocean, then the ocean can become dirty. If you put some poison, then the whole ocean can become poisonous. In the same way, whatever is not congenial to the ocean, to this divine power, should not be done. Otherwise, you will spoil the whole of it. We have had experience. We have had Sahaja Yogis who were leaders also, and they tried to be quite funny, and the whole collectivity was spoiled. One person who is not a good person can spoil the whole collectivity. The one who is then a leader on top of that is even worse. So one has to understand that when you are becoming a drop of the ocean, this ocean is the pure ocean of love. In that, you should not do something that will create repulsion, frustration, or even sometimes it can create a very grotesque image of the whole ocean. That is why we have to be decent people, decorous people. It is not that in any way we want you to be like a dandy people or anything, but what it means that you must respect your body, respect yourself, and a respectable personality you should have. Too much intelligence to that is not proper. But it should be such that you should respect yourself. It's very important. If you cannot respect yourself, you cannot respect at all the divinity within you. It's like a decoration of the divinity that your whole behavior, your whole attire has to be in such a way that people should know that he is a decent man. Indecent things have come out and have become now a everyday fashion. And they go on coming one after another because of the entrepreneurs. And we are playing into the hands of entrepreneurs. But if you know what dress you have to wear and what is good for you, once for all you have to decide. Now the attention should not be also wasted in that today I'll wear this kind of a sari, tomorrow I'll wear that kind of a dress, third day, because that also spoils the attention. But if it is a decent thing, it's perfectly all right, and that will really make you feel dignified within yourself. In modern times, as the people are, I don't think they have much respect for themselves. You see very highly posted people, highly placed people doing all kinds of nonsensical things like cheating, like having relations with people who are of dishonorable position. All this is happening. If you see in the newspaper, you are shocked how these people at the helm of affairs could be like this, because they are still not matured enough to know where are they, what is their position, how they have to be. If you are mature enough, then you will understand that, say, I am a housewife, I am such a minister, I am prime minister, how I should be. That all that achievement they have outside remains outside, doesn't go inside. But for a Sahaja Yogi, it should be absorbed within. It has to be absorbed within so that the attention is not wasted too much. The another part which one has to see is the heart.